Hello, welcome back to Access. I'm Rob, this is Hollie, and we're at the after party at Uncovered Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
That is, you don't know if you can see him, it's Hironobu Sakaguchi,
I just had a picture with him.
the man who invented Final Fantasy.
Oh my god,
Like he's, for me, he's like Kojima level.
that's, it's the father of Final Fantasy, and
Just swigging a Peroni.
I'm getting really emotional.
I know. I can't
Okay.
believe he's in the same room with no idea he was going to be here.
No.
Anyway, we've just seen the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered presentation. I'm sure you've seen it by now.
Yep.
Loads of cool announcements were made, but we're going to be talking about 8 specific things that as die-hard Final Fantasy fans are really exciting to us.
Yeah, this is our 8 things.
Yes. You're going to start us off, Hollie.
Yeah, so it's the theme song. It's Florence and the Machine.
That was a really cool announcement.
You know, I think it's always tough because you've always kind of got that lead singer, and we've had popular pop singers before. We had Leona Lewis in the
for
previously,
13, yeah.
But for me, Florence, I think she's utterly ethereal. I think her voice is so Final Fantasy, and she's a bit quirky and a bit different. And as that kind of nerd who grew up playing Final Fantasy, I feel like that's the kind of person that I can respect and relate to, and she feels like part of this world we create, and she managed to take that song and do.
I mean,
I cried in the presentation.
She's done a new cover for it, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Whereas before with Leona Lewis, it was just one of the songs that was already on her album that
Yeah.
just repurposed. This is actually
This is it.
deliberately done to be the theme song for Final Fantasy 15.
But even with the harps in it, it still even sounded almost like, I don't know if it's just me, maybe because I'm a fangirl, but it sounded like the harp at the beginning of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I think it's an incredible song. I think they did really well to blend that like pop star, like someone everyone's heard of, and still keep it Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I cried twice. Both times the song came on, I cried in the presentation. So.
Kingsglaive.
Ugh.
Now, we've had CG movies in Final Fantasy before. We had Spirits Within.
Everyone died in that. Spoilers.
We had
It was really sad.
We had Advent Children, and despite the fact I think Advent Children is really cool, let's not beat around the bush. It's bad. Kingsglaive looks really cool.
It does.
Firstly, a bit of context for Kingsglaive. It is set during the events of Final Fantasy 15
Yep.
and takes care of the story of King Regis, Noctis' dad, and the events that are happening in the royal city of...
And it sounds like quite close as
Yes.
well. Like, as in close to when the game takes place.
But it looks like, I mean, obviously, when I first saw the trailer for it, I spent the first 20 seconds looking at it thinking, they've done a live action... No, they haven't. No, it is live action. No, it's CG. That's how good the CG is in it. It's unbelievable. And also, Sean Bean voices King Regis.
Yeah.
Lena Headey, that's Cersei Lannister, and the Queen from 300.
Cersei Lannister, like.
Voices
Luna.
Luna Freya, who is also obviously in the main game.
Yes.
And Aaron Paul voices Nyx,
Who looked badass,
who is
by
like
the way.
the leader of the Kingsglaive, who are like a squad of elite knights.
I cannot wait to see what Tumblr does to him.
Now that is cool.
It looks cool.
Aaron Paul walks on the stage and everyone lost their mind.
I-
Lena Headey walked on the stage. Oh my god. There was a video of Sean Bean. If Sean Bean had walked out, I would have been up whooping. I'd have run onto the stage. I don't care if security shut me out.
It's just the fact that this is coming out, like, even before, like, it's not like, oh, the game was really successful, like,
Yeah.
what can we do to carry on the lineage? It was like, no, it's going to come out before the game.
Before the game.
And it's like, part of it's already wrapped. Lena's
Yeah.
already finished doing her lines. That's massive.
We just hope, for King Regis' sake, that he doesn't
Doesn't
suffer
die.
the Sean Bean curse. That everything Sean Bean is in, he dies.
Yeah, please
Come on,
don't.
King Regis, you can do it.
We believe in you.
What's next up?
So I go from Kingsglaive to my girl, because I'm an anime girl, I'm a manga girl at heart. Brotherhood.
Yeah.
So episode 1's already out.
For free. You're gonna watch more for free.
But it's an anime, and it looks really well animated, and it goes more into the depth of the boys' friendship,
Yeah.
which I think is really cool, because this is really what it's all about, right? Stand By Me, the boys, it's them on their journey. But this 5-part anime, which has been custom made, and which we're all gonna get for free, is just incredible. Like,
It is cool.
And like, it would have been like, back in the day, there would have been like an anime for our favourite Final Fantasy game, would never have come to the West. And like, you'd have to like fight to find the English like fan sub.
And now it's just on YouTube.
And now
there
it's
you
just
go,
there.
that's that.
That's amazing. It really excites me.
It's cool. Well, this is why it's taken them 10 years to get this game finished, because they've been, should we carry on? No, let's make an animated series. Let's make a CG movie as well. Just finish the game, for goodness sake.
Finish all of it and deliver the biggest Final Fantasy launch ever. Execute it flawlessly, and everybody can experience that Final Fantasy feeling that I've had and I've always been able to
Let's
have.
hope so. So next up, we're talking about not just the car, but all the vehicles you can drive. We've played the Platinum demo. You've probably played the Platinum demo. It's out now. You can download it for free on PS4. You can get a little taster of the vehicles in that when you step on the bronze plates or the silver plates in the big Alice in Wonderland style toy room. There are a few cars in the game, few vehicles for traversal. There's also a speedboat.
The speedboat looked cool.
I had no idea that was coming. And then, like the drop the mic moment right at the end of the evening, the car just, like some kind of, better than the Batmobile, just transforms into a flying thing.
Do you reckon that's the airship?
Well, yeah, I guess.
You reckon that's like the airship for the game?
The fact that they've got airship traversal across massive swathes of open worlds.
It's got to be.
Really gets me excited that this Final Fantasy is whilst going forwards and making the series relevant and modern and current gen, also going back to what Final Fantasy fans love. You know, they've talked about mini games.
Yeah.
It's a massive explorable world, very personal story, and you can go around it in an airship.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly exciting.
And it looks like that's it.
It's always a massive thrill when you first get your airship in a Final Fantasy game. It's like, okay, I've quested across this world for ages. I've walked through it.
You
it's
finally
been really
got to
tough.
disc 3.
I'm on disc 3. I've got an airship. And it's just, it whizzes by underneath all of it. And you can go anywhere. And the sense of freedom it gives you is amazing.
The next one for me is Chocobos. And everything they represent. So
can I just, for the record, I always pronounced it Chocobo.
Chocobos.
When I was a kid. Before any voice actors came into Final Fantasy and said Chocobo, it was Chocobo for me. Chocobo. Anyway, Chocobos.
I think it's maybe because I'm in America, I'm saying Chocobo.
Okay.
Chocobo.
Yes, it sounds better.
Anyway, they represent the legacy of Final Fantasy to me, right? They are the epitome of Final Fantasy. They're in every game, and as soon as you see one, you feel like you're at home with the franchise.
Yeah.
So we saw summoning one, and like we saw power sliding.
Some of them with a whistle.
Yeah, but it was like a really normal whistle. I thought it'd be a bit weird. We heard a bit of the Chocobo theme. The Chocobo themes are super important.
Yep.
We power slided. We glided a little bit of flying, which is cool.
It looks like there's probably going to be some areas in the world that are only accessible via Chocobo. Like you have to glide to them.
Yeah. There'll be like a collectible up there or a secret up there that you'll have to get. But you know, they just represent all the things like Iron Giants. They're back.
Yeah.
Carbuncle's back. Just things that feel Final Fantasy. So even if you're worried that it's getting too Western, there's all these things left in there that you will know and love.
Speaking of things that are always in Final Fantasy, it leads on to my next point number 6, the summons. They're always a really important, and it's always the wow moment, isn't it, when you get your first summon in a Final Fantasy game. Like, you have to really work for them off, and you have to beat them in battle to summon them sometimes. They always look incredible. I remember when Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10 summons, the first summons on PS2.
Yeah.
Amazing. These summons, I mean, you've seen Ramu in episode Duske, incredible.
It's just nuts.
We've seen Titan now.
Yeah.
A few times in the trailers.
My God. How Attack of the Titan was Titan.
Doing his Gaia's Wrath attack, slamming his fist down into the ground. Carbuncle, I don't think it's going to be a summon, but he's in the game.
I hope so.
The most impressive one for me, though, has got to be Leviathan. It looks insane. When was the last time Leviathan was in a Final Fantasy game?
14.
Apart from 14. 14's got everything, doesn't count. He wasn't in 13.
14 actually is just a checklist
Final
of
Fantasy
fan
12 just made up a load of new summons, so they don't count. He wasn't in 10.
So he must
in
9, and I know he's definitely in.
He's definitely in 8.
Because Fujin.
Yeah, you draw him.
No, she was Pandora. Sorry,
out.
yeah, she was Pandora, so it wasn't her.
I can't remember where you get Leviathan in 8. That's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I should know that.
I should. But Leviathan, the fact they're all the size of like flipping cities.
With Luna was stood there with what I thought looked like a dragoon thing. So
I like it when they really give the summons their power. Like they really make them seem godlike, because that's what they are in Final Fantasy lore. They are almost gods.
Well, that's what we've always been taught,
And they look
right?
insanely powerful. Like, sometimes you summon them and, like, in some Final Fantasies, they just, they'll fight with you for a bit and they can get defeated. You don't want them to be defeated. You just want to summon them for one attack.
Yeah.
Them to kick ass and then go again. And it looks like that's what we're going to get.
But I haven't seen Shiva yet.
I haven't seen Bahamut yet.
Come
Bahamut's
on.
got to be in it.
Shiva has to be in it. And, like, Shiva's my utter favourite.
Oh.
Diamond Dust, Final Fantasy VIII.
Alexander, what if Alexander's in it?
Oh, Alexander would be amazing, especially in those graphics.
And that size.
And in the intricacy that you could put on Alexander, see, now I'm going down the rabbit hole again.
Ifrit.
Ifrit's got to be. Ifrit's got to be. He's staple. Okay, so we're on to the final two now, right?
Yeah.
One more each. And I'm going with the soundtrack. So not just Florence, Shimomura
Yoko Shimomura.
is back.
Yeah.
And this time on a Final Fantasy game. Now, this woman is incredibly talented. Kingdom Hearts, beloved, just dearly
Beautiful
beloved.
soundtrack.
It still brings me to tears even now. The fact that she is now stepping up, and there have been not just Nobuo Uematsu, there have been other incredible people working on Final Fantasy, but this woman, I think, could just take it and run with it. And even the little bits, if you're playing Platinum, put your headphones in, turn the music up, and stand and listen, because those are her pieces. And there's nothing better in this world than a beautiful Final Fantasy soundtrack.
Every piece of music I've heard so far to the game sounds amazing.
They were playing it in the auditorium, because we were there live.
They're playing it now, along with some jazz.
But the soundtrack, I can't wait for A Distant Worlds.
Yes.
I can't wait to hear it live. I can't wait to own it, and I think her and
You can
Florence,
get it in the collector's edition, can't you?
which I'm definitely getting when the
ultimate
website is
collector's
available. But I think this is going to be, I genuinely think this is going to be one of the most ultimate soundtracks. For me, probably since 8.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
And final point then, and this is one for me, it's just from the look of the game so far, from what we've seen, from the trailers, from, the Brotherhood anime, all kind of suggests that the story this time is going to be a really character-driven personal story about the characters and not so much about the events. And the last few Final Fantasy games, 13, 12, particularly 12, all very event-driven, like the characters are just swept along and you don't feel like... Whereas 7, 8 and 9, which are for me the golden age of Final Fantasy, it's all about the characters, and that's what made me love the series in the first place, was really feeling connected to them, the story that you get, and how I've never cared for characters as much as I care for Final Fantasy characters.
That's true.
And it feels like that is where the story is going for 15, and that's what excites me the most about it. Like, I want to really care about them. Like, I already kind of do. Noctis is great.
Prompto, I love.
Prompto, it's going to take a bit of getting used to. Maybe he'll be like 15's Zell.
But I think
Zell from 8. No one likes Zell.
No, but you like Zell with other people. I think that's what Prompto's going to do. Prompto's going to bring the others to life.
I hope I'm going to like Prompto.
You will like Prompto.
Luna, I think, is going to be amazing.
I need to see more of Luna. I just need to see her fleshed out a little bit. Cindy looks cool. I want to see more of Cindy, and I'm putting my money on it now. In that one trailer, I bet that old man was Sid.
Yeah, gotta be Sid, surely.
Because they've tried
Cindy's
to make
dad.
Cindy as the new Sid. Like, no, that has got to be the Sid.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be a new Sid or just completely right. The cool bit of music starting now. Oh, I love this theme. King Regis' relationship with Noctis as well is something I'm really looking forward to.
I just want to see the guys. I just want to see how they act and develop. I want to follow them as they develop as people.
And we haven't seen the main villain yet, assuming there is one.
I think I know who it is.
How do you know who it is?
I think in that I think in that trailer you saw the guy in the really big fancy coat.
Yeah.
He had a swagger about him.
I don't think so. He looks more like...
No, I think he's got a swag. I think he's got a swagger to me that
not
says
main
evil.
villain material to me.
Maybe not, but like he'd be like a villain controlled by another villain.
You always know this final boss is going to be a sentient crystal that you don't meet until the end.
It's like you've played these before.
I am the center of
Nova,
the
Rob.
universe. I'm going to destroy the world so there'll be no more misery anymore.
I am Rob's final form.
Taking it back to nothing, to zero. That'll be the final boss. Anyway, sorry for those spoilers. That was us geeking out about Final Fantasy 15.
Why don't I take this?
Yeah.
You take your phone. You go and try and find Sakaguchi, and I'll sign off.
Okay.
Go on.
Shall I do that?
Yeah, go on. You go.
I'm going to get a photo with Hironobu Sakaguchi. Here I go.
And that's me signing off. Guys, thank you so much for watching and for letting us geek out. If you love Final Fantasy, tell us below what you were excited about, what you can't wait to see more of. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for even more.